and it's hard. I don't want to be patted on the shoulder saying, it's okay, but you're overreacting. Get over it. It's not important. If I know that there are people that are close to me watching my videos right now, that's going to put a limit on my content. That's going to limit me. I'm going to feel like I won't be able to express myself fully. I'm not going to feel comfortable. Therefore, I'm not going to be my authentic self, which defies the purpose for this channel, because I want to be my authentic self. That's how I'm going to find my people. That's how you're going to find me, because you're going to relate to me. If I'm pretending to be someone else, or if I'm not showing my full self, just a part of it, then you're not going to relate, because we're talking about depth here. How are you going to relate if I'm staying on the surface? I don't want to be just a generic YouTube channel that is going to give you surface information that you can find on Google, or I don't know, ChatGPT, or on YouTube, everywhere. There's only one me. There's only one you, and the only way to be unique online is by showing and expressing who we are, by being authentic, by not holding back. So when I talk about any topic in any of my videos, I want to be completely me, so that you see that, so that you say, hey, I love that. I feel like that. Wait a minute, this is me. How do you know? How do you know I feel this way? How are you reading my thoughts? Because, like I mentioned earlier in another video, I love it when I feel like a certain YouTube channel or a creator is like reading my mind. Who doesn't want to find people to relate to? Like-minded people. How comforting is that? It's just a comfort like no other, to find like-minded people, especially if we're the minority in society. I don't know any introverts in my day-to-day life and among those people that are close to me. I don't know anyone who has certain restrictions, such as needing to know in advance. I don't like surprises. I don't like people dropping in on me without calling. I like to prepare for things. I don't like to do things spontaneously. Of course, I'll do things spontaneously here and there, but I'm talking like the bigger things. Who doesn't like to find people to relate to, especially if you don't have anyone close in your life who really understands you, who digs you, who agrees with you, who feels the way you do, who has similar needs to you? Not easy to find that. It's not easy to find. That's why a lot of times I seek YouTube for that. Not for self-validation, but just, it's comforting. It's comforting to hear someone talk about their struggles, even if they're not like major dramatic struggles, but their day-to-day struggles, because they can't find that one person to relate to. When I talk to you, it's therapy for me, and I pray that it could be therapeutic to you too. I pray that when you hear me talk about certain things, that you can feel it deep inside of you, because it's you. I pray that it would help comfort you one way or another, that it would help get you out of your loneliness, because it's very lonely. Even if you're surrounded by people, it's very lonely when you feel there's no one around you who will understand you when you're trying to vent or share your feelings, who will tell you, I feel you. It's very hard to find someone who, as introverts, there aren't a lot of people like us. Statistically speaking, there are more extroverts than introverts in the world. This is a world of extroverts, and I have no introverts around me. That's why you are going to be my introvert friends, my introvert supporters, and I will be yours. That's why YouTube is therapeutic. Release those feelings. I finally accepted that I'm an introvert. It's okay to be so, because when you go through life feeling that no one understands that everyone thinks you're wrong, the way you are is wrong because it's not like them, because you don't feel about certain things the way they do, because you take things personally, because you unintentionally always want to dig deep into everything, analyze things. When there's no one else around you like that, or no one who understands that, and it's hard. I don't want to be patted on the shoulder saying, it's okay, but you're overreacting. Get over it. It's not important. It stays bottled in, and it creates a lot of emotional issues, depression, Yes, anxiety, extra stress, unneeded. It creates, it messes with my self esteem, your self esteem. Tell me, am I right? Does anyone else feel this way? Or am I the only one in this existence? Am I really that unique? If you feel this way, subscribe, follow me, because this is what my channel is about mostly. I'll also be sharing my YouTube journey, but this is mostly what my channel is about: creating a space for introverts who feel lonely because everyone around them is an extrovert, because everyone thinks that they're overreacting. I remember when I was in university and in some English classes when we had to write essays and sometimes analyze things, right? My English teacher oftentimes used to write on certain extracts of my essay or my paper, too deep. I thought we're supposed to analyze things here. Too deep? Isn't this what analysis is supposed to be? Digging deep? Yeah. And I've had it with more than one teacher actually saying, too deep. I still have the visual in my mind. Too deep. Yeah, I guess too deep for my own good. Are you too deep for your own good? Does anyone else feel that? Do you feel too deep for your own good? And then you find yourself at some point having to be less deep. You'll have to let go of who you are because it's not what society wants. You're too deep for your own good. I don't think I'm too deep for my own good. I think too deep is the way to be. You know, I'm not saying everyone should be too deep or deep at all. To each his own. To each his own, but don't judge me for being too deep. I always try to put myself in the other person's shoes. I do this less, by the way, because it became too draining and because I realized that no one tries to put themselves in my shoes. Why should I put myself in your shoes? It's a coping mechanism that I have developed in the past few years because I realized that not many people are like me, unfortunately, at least around me. They don't like to put themselves in my shoes. They say they do and they understand, but clearly they don't because they're not providing the type of support that I'm needing. Because I'm too emotional, too sensitive, too deep. I'm not a people pleaser. Like, I don't base my behavior on what people like. I don't agree with that. I always said that if whatever I decide to do does not go against the Lord's will, I'm a Christian, I'm a follower of Christ. I'm blessed to be a follower of Christ. So I've always said that whatever I do, as long as it doesn't go against the Lord's will, then I'm good. I don't care what anyone thinks or how anyone feels about it. So I'm not a people's pleaser like that. But at the same time, if I do something that I know it's going to bother Mr. X or Miss Y around me, I get disgusted and I don't want to do it anymore. I lose interest. So I don't know if that's people pleasing, but so do you understand? Do you feel me? Do you feel this way too? It's draining. It sucked the life out of me. It made me lose who I am. Because as a mother, I also don't get enough time on my own to regenerate, to replenish myself. That drained me too, but that's a different issue. But when I don't have someone to fully be myself with, to share my true feelings, to dig deep into everything or into certain things at least once in a while, it's hard. It's hard because it feels like a huge part of me is not being nurtured, has been shut down. And that has created some type of a bubble around me. Can you understand what I'm saying? Like, do you relate? Please, if you relate, write a comment and give me an example. How can you relate? Give me an example in the comments. How, like an example of something that happens to you or with you where you felt this way. You felt like you had to create this bubble because you had to shut down this part of you that annoys people. Not because it's annoying, it's just because they don't agree with it, right? Because they don't see it, they don't feel it, they don't like to dig deep, just happy-go-lucky all the time. And I was a very negative person, so I've been working really hard on my mindset. I want to be positive, and it's a daily effort, a daily reminder. Because whenever things go wrong or don't go the way I plan them to, I panic, I get angry, and say, I start getting back into that negative mindset, and it's a daily reminder that I shouldn't. But it's hard when you have no one around you to understand your need for discipline. I love discipline. to understand your need for stability and a routine that shouldn't really be messed with. There's exceptions, but in general, I'm talking too much. I hope I didn't get off point. I hope I didn't lose your attention. But this is a very emotional video for me. This is actually the most emotional video I created. I'm not sure how I'm gonna post this, if I'm gonna, chop off some parts, but right now you're my therapy. And I pray that I'm your therapy. I need this. I need to find people to relate to who feel the same way, who have similar struggles emotionally, who have a hard time finding other introverts who are perfectionists around them, or to support them, or to truly understand them, because I don't. Looks like I'm the only introverted perfectionist in my entourage. Very painful. I don't know how to deal with it. And I've shut it down for years, but honestly, like I said, it ended up giving me a lot of anxiety, anger, resentment. And this is why I wanted to start YouTube. I wanted to get out of my shell, challenge myself, start something new, face my fear. One of my biggest fears in life, the unpredictable, the unknown, getting out of my little comfort zone, because honestly, it has become my anger zone, my depression zone. It's not my comfort zone anymore. It's not. I need something else at this point. I pray that you could relate, that this touched you. I give anything to have someone in my life, or at least even on YouTube, that I can relate like that on that level with. That they feel me, they feel what I'm feeling. They go through similar issues where they are completely unfulfilled emotionally on an adult level with adults, because I'm very fulfilled emotionally when it comes to my daughter. She provides me with a lot of love. We have a great relationship. We're super close, so connected. She's my bestie. She's only 10, but hey, she loves me unconditionally. We all that, don't we all want to have someone like that in our life? I don't know. She's not a teenager yet. We'll see what happens when she turns a teenager. But for now, I'll take it, and I enjoy it one day at a time. I'm trying to shoot this video one shot to be as natural and as authentic as possible. Who can relate? Can you relate? Let me know in the comments. Subscribe. Follow my journey. Let's learn and grow together. Let's share our feelings and celebrate our introvertedness. Do we say that? I don't know, but you know what I mean. Let's celebrate how we are. I'm not going to celebrate perfectionism, because that's a little bit detrimental, but how we are fighting our perfectionism, how we're dealing with it, how we're adapting ways to not allow perfectionism to dictate our life like I've allowed it for years. With my perfectionism comes some obsessive behavior. Honestly, the more stressed I am, the more of that behavior I exhibit. And I know it gets exacerbated by stress and anxiety. At some point a few years ago, when my daughter was going to kindergarten to school, it was very hard because she was crying and she hated it. I gotta go. My daughter's here. Talk to you later.